This week we are talking about cost to supply and why it's so important, and I'm not talking about product cost. I'll explain. Coming right up. Okay, so what is cost to supply? Cost to supply is, I've talked endlessly on this channel about cost to serve. It's the same principle, it's the same concept, but kind of flipped. You're looking at the cost of your suppliers to supply into your business. And why is that important to know? It's critical to know. It's as essential to know as your cost to serve out to your customers. Why? Because it can enable you to develop strategies such as, reverse logistics and get the pricing right. If you're changing your channels, you might be getting suppliers to deliver direct to store, your retail stores, and you might be wondering, is it more cost effective for them to come through our distribution centres? We can consolidate loads, we can consolidate, with other orders, but you need to understand your suppliers' costs to be able to make that assessment. In many countries around the world, particularly in industries like grocery retail, where they've gone from that direct store delivery to DC delivery, they charge their suppliers a fee for processing the orders through the DC and doing the deliveries to store on behalf of the supplier. I've worked with many suppliers over the years to do an analysis of what that true cost is for the supplier to deliver direct to store versus going maybe in bulk to the retailer's DC, so that they can sit down with the facts to have those negotiations with their retail customers. So it's a really important thing to understand. Just think of it in terms of cost to serve, flipping it on your head, and you start working with your suppliers to really understand their true costs. So you've got to have a great supplier relationship. You've got to have that trust and openness so that they can kind of open the books on their costs. You can open the books on your costs. And some things are probably going to change. So maybe you're going to be picking up the products. It could be, for example, you have a much bigger, more efficient network than your suppliers do, and you have much better freight rates, and so you can swing by and be picking up their loads at a much more cost-effective way than they could do themselves. So you need to understand all those sort of things. You need to understand the costs in their warehouse of processing your orders. It can highlight, for example, some of the benefits of larger, less frequent orders coming into you, the retailer, from your supplier. How will that change their warehousing costs? Will it make it more efficient? It can be all kinds of benefits for the supplier there, but you can work with them to actually do the analysis and quantify all of those. So where this really works well is creating this win-win relationship, which can be rare in business, I know, but I've seen it work so well, so many times. I don't know why we haven't spoken about it on the channel before. But that collaboration with suppliers saying, hey, look, we'll come and pick up your product. We'll handle it through our DCs. Let's give you the benefit of our much bigger scale, our much better cost structures, and we'll share some of the savings with you. Where it falls down is when the big guys kind of beat up the little guys and say, we're keeping all the benefit. You've got to share some of that. You've got to encourage the effort for your suppliers to change how they're doing things. So I'd love to hear from you, to hear if you've done this kind of study with your suppliers. How did it go? What were some of the traps that you fell into? Were there some really significant benefits? I mean, this is not new. It's been around for a long time. Depending on the industry you're in, though, there are a couple of traps to watch out for. I won't go into those on this video because it really depends on the industry and the types of suppliers that you're dealing with. But if you're seriously wanting to go down this path of working with your suppliers to create these win-win relationships, then by all means reach out to me and I can highlight a couple of the traps that may come up depending on your industry. Easiest way to do that, I'll put my LinkedIn link down below, is just reach out to me with a message on LinkedIn. But I look forward to hearing from you. I thought we'd do something a little bit different this week. Do comment down below if you've come across working with suppliers in this way, the degree of openness you were able to have, what some of the barriers were. Love to hear from you. But bye for now and see you soon.